There's a bust of Julius Caesar in the British Museum, which was acquired in 1870 and became the standard image for Julius Caesar for about 50 years. And it drew lots of praise and is now considered a fake, an absolute fake. Nothing real about it at all. And so you've got to ask, what makes a good statue? The issue with statues failing to resemble their subjects, because the problem with the Julius Caesar statue is it doesn't look like any other statue of Julius Caesar. And then we come to statues which are beginning to go up of the late Queen Elizabeth II. The first statue, which bore absolutely no resemblance to the Queen at all, was put up in a square in northern Albania. And then there was a statue in Oakham, and now there's a statue in County Antrim Gardens. And I think this subject of representational art is well as illustrated by these examples. Here you can see over here the Queen and her consort Prince Philip, along with corgis, which I haven't shown, two of them, rather large, created by Anto Brennan in Northern Ireland. And the statue, much like the infamous bust of Cristiano Ronaldo in Madeira, has drawn criticism for not being a great likeness. And when a statue doesn't capture the essence of its subject, it risks alienating the very people who seek a lifelike memorial. A portrait statue, after all, is not merely a decoration, but a representation of the person that invites admiration, connection, even reverence. So then we go back to our unknown Roman in the British Museum, which was identified initially as a bust of Julius Caesar. I think initially it was bought as an unknown Roman. And its piece lauded for its portraiture. In some ways, one person says it's better likeness of Caesar than a better portrait of the man than if it had been done from life. I think that's the quotation. In other words, a lie. And it gives Caesar too much hair. On the one hand, he's described as unscrupulous, and on the other hand, he's described with a sad, sweet, patient smile. But it had its admirers, of course, and even allowing for interpretation, even allowing for the possibility that it strays from strict realism. We have to ask, is it artistic license or unscrupulous manipulation? Some might say, yeah, it bears the likeness of somebody with control. I mean, in many ways, to me, it looks more like Peter Cushing. And then again, you think, Peter Cushing, that great man. There's questions about his likeness at the moment. This evokes an idealized image of a man with an acute, with an acute sort of passivity, the passivity of marble. Acute, not accurate. But at least, as with many classical sculptures, it's found its admirers. People have affection for it. The problem with Brennan's statue and others like it, such as the statue in Oakham, is that they do not command the affection of those who had hoped for a more lifelike memorial. Here we simply have the problem. Have we forgotten how to sculpt compelling, realistic portraits? Modern technology, which allowed us to create, for example, that fake version of Peter Cushing in Star Wars, seems to have paradoxically failed in producing a realistic statue of figures like Queen Elizabeth II. The tools and the skills necessary for crafting such statues seem to be in decline. Or perhaps the expectation of what a statue can offer has shifted. The same thing is true of painted portraits. one of the best portraits that I can think of from my old school, because the person is no longer in favour, isn't even on exhibition. But some of the other portraits there are atrocious, absolutely appalling. Some of them were done from life, some of them quite definitely were not. Lifelike statues serve as an enduring cultural and historical touch point. Yet, Ronaldo and Brennan's work, they suggest that contemporary sculpture struggles to meet the mark. They challenge us to reflect the role of realism in public monuments, whether it's vital or whether a more interpretive approach, such as the bust of Caesar, can find value even when it diverges from strict accuracy. The problem with the statue of Her late Majesty the Queen is I think it's not sure what image it's trying to project. I think the handbag is a mistake, by the way.